Good morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Josh. And we just returned from yesterday, right? 2 days ago, from the NBM show in Indianapolis. And we always love going to Midwest shows because we get to talk to sort of a different segment of decorators than what we're used to. We do a lot of shows sort of in the Southeast, West Coast, Northeast. But the Midwest is always cool because, number one, we can drive there, which is awesome. And then we get to talk to a different segment of decorators that we talk to once a year. And at this show, we had some seminar we're going to talk to you about a little bit later. We had a full booth, two 10 by 30 booths actually, with a lot of equipment and new products that we were demonstrating that some of you got to see firsthand. And then we were in the hot spot, which was a new area of the show. So what did you see at NBM Indianapolis that we want to share with our viewers?
Yeah, so the NBM show is always a really interesting one. We get a lot of different people there. We get sign companies, we get apparel decorators, we get engravers, and so we just see a whole mixture of what's going on in the industry from different people. But what was interesting the most to me is that most of them had the same challenges or were looking for things to make improvements in their production process. And one of those that we saw was the use of a laser engraver in the Universal Laser booth, using some of the CAD-CUT materials and actually creating heat-applied graphics that way.
Yeah, actually on the day of setup, which is the same day that we did our class, I got to go to dinner with Dave Stevens from Universal Laser, and it's one of the gentlemen over there that we've been working with to sort of collaborate to show people how to process CAD-CUT materials with their laser cutter and really decorate apparel. And he was really excited because he said they reached the engraver market of the show, you know, sort of the awards and engraving side of it. They reached the sign market with their lasers, but didn't really have like a big solution for the apparel market other than processing twill. And this processing of CAD-CUT heat transfer films with the laser has just been a phenomenal win for them and really for the apparel decorator, the laser cutter owner.
Right, and the lasers, it gives you ability to do a lot of detail and cool things, which we'll show here to the viewers, but the reason that a lot of people have been afraid for years to be able to use their laser engravers with heat transfer films is because we always called it heat transfer vinyl, and it's still a popular term in the industry. But today they're all polyurethane based, so they're safe for being able to be cut on those machines.
Yeah, PVC is a big no-no for laser cutter owners. It basically eats the machine from the inside out and completely voids the warranty. So folks that own laser cutters or engravers were afraid to process vinyl, and that's a good point. So right now at Stahls, I think there's 8 or 10 materials that are in the Universal Laser database. If you update your settings with the Universal Laser, you can process. And I wanted to share a quick tip guide and explain the process of how these products are used. So if we can pull that up there on Courtney's computer. Let's go through the basics first. So we're familiar with knife cutting heat transfer films to create personalization to heat applied to apparel. Here we're going to look at laser cutting these products. So this gives you a look from inside the software. When you're working with laser cutters, basically you can set up 2 different colors of cut lines, multiple colors of cut lines that cut at different speeds and powers on the laser. And so you see the red and blue cut lines here in the top left image there on the Stahls logo. The red cut lines are designed to what I call die cut or cut completely through both the film and the carrier. And then the blue cut lines are designed to kiss cut like we typically would with a vinyl cutter and just through the film and not the carrier. So if we look sort of at that design after it's been processed down in the bottom left image, you see that we've blown through completely through the center of the A there and the outside edge to trim that design apart. And now when we weed it, we're literally just weeding the outside edge of the material. So it eliminates the picking and the weeding of inside cavities. And that's the typical way to laser cut these. Ultimately, you heat apply it to the product the same way and you get your finished result. So that's instantly a way to save time in weeding without increasing processing time in the materials too much. And then there's another way that's called photo processing. And this is really where this process comes to life, and this is what drew the crowds, is the fact that now I can take a photo quality image and I can instantly convert that with Universal's one-touch laser photo into something that's a black and white image using a darker light filter. And ultimately, the machine, once I select the material, is just going to etch away the film. So if we look at this, it's truly amazing. Down in the image there in the bottom left, you see it actually etching away the adhesive and the polyurethane of the film, creating the photo that can then be heat applied, and you get this fantastic result where not only can I do photorealistic prints, but I can etch away extremely fine detail to effectively eliminate weeding altogether.
Right, and that was definitely something that's never been possible before with some of the detail designs. Just as we take a look at some of the detail we got from different photo images, we got a tiger image there as well as a really incredible photo image of some cars as well. So it's just unreal the detail that you can get.
Yeah, and this is sort of a quick glimpse into what was processing in the Universal laser booth that was drawing so much attention. Now, of course, I don't want to give you the idea that it doesn't take time, because the machine takes time to etch away all those details, but it doesn't take actually your attended time in weeding. It's a way that the machine can do the work unattended, and basically you just heat apply. So that's popular, that's new. I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. I think we'll just start to create new cool artwork with it, and you can basically visit the Universal site and see the different materials that can be processed. And we can always email out the tip guide for those of you that are interested, and it'll walk you through what materials work.
Right, awesome.
Speaking of weeding, weeding's been a popular topic for us because nobody really likes to weed. We're going to share some stats with you, though, that vinyl cut graphics and print cut graphics are really some of the top growing decorating technologies out there for heat printing, as cited by you decorators. And then it's also some of the most profitable technologies. So the way we make it more profitable is by reducing some of the time in weeding. And so in the hot spot, we had the world's fastest weeder contest at this show. Talk to us about that.
We did. So the hotspot area of the trade show was a specific booth where it did a lot of education and training on equipment, but we specifically were searching for NBM Indy's fastest weeder, and we found him. He actually weeded a design in about 11 seconds. So we'll go ahead and show you guys as he weeds that graphic. We actually made him do it a second time. This is 19 seconds because we had to videotape the fastest weeder and try to see if he could mimic his time over again.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to have, once this completes, I'm going to have Joe run it again for you so you can see the process here. So we were doing this design in the booth all day. We cut a lot of these, and if we can run that one more time. This design, it's heating up on the weeding table. You see we have attached our clamp-on lamp to the table. What the table is doing is actually heating the film and making it a lot easier to weed. So this is LT Taylor. I forget the company name off the top of my head. I know we have it. But the cool thing about this is he weeded it off the table as well, same design, and it took him about 1:10.
Right, absolutely. So it definitely was a pretty fast process for him to weed using that heated weeding table. So if you saw that on the launch event, basically it just heats up every hot peel material and CAD-CUT product and makes it easier to pull it away.
Yeah, so response was positive on that. We continue to sell a lot of units through the Stahls division. If you're interested in that, be sure to look it up. We have tons of videos on Stahls TV. Now, the NBM show, basically, not only are they events, but they have publications that are tied sort of to the different segments. And so, of course, our side in the apparel segment, they publish Printwear, which is a monthly publication that you can subscribe to, get a print edition, or read the digital edition online at printwear.com. And once a year, they release their Hot Graphics issue. And their Hot Graphics issue is their sort of segment that's specific to the world of heat printing, what we like to focus on. And so we want to sort of walk you through this, and you can read the full report on printwear.com. Just look at the digital edition. But we want to walk you through some of the responses here and sort of explain what that means. And so it's called the Hot Off the Press Survey Findings from the Heat Applied Graphics Market. And basically this is a total of 407 responses were received to a survey they sent out to Printwear subscribers and awards and engraving subscribers. And the first thing I want to point out is basically the question is, what other decorating techniques are popular in your shop in addition to heat printing? What other technologies do you use? And we see embroidery coming in as a clear number one.
Yeah, the embroidery and the heat printing just kind of complement each other really well. It allows decorators to offer 2 different print types to their customers. So they can get a screen printed transfer or a heat transfer vinyl type finish, and also still offering embroidery for that high-end customer.
Yeah, embroiders are consistently one of our top growing segments that are expanding into heat printing. So for those of you embroiderers that are sort of on the fence, know that there's a lot of successful folks that are not only utilizing embroidery in their shop, but they're utilizing heat printing because it gives them that other decoration technique and lets them take control. And so if we sort of look down through that, we have sublimation, screen printing, laser engraving, which sort of matches what we're saying. I think
That'll probably be a little higher next year.
Yeah, we'll see that grow for sure. And then if we go to the next segment of the survey, this is helpful info because it talks specific about market segments for heat transfers. So these are markets that you could be reaching.
Right, and they're always, I mean, those are some markets that we always look at for Stahls TV, and we educate on. Obviously, the athletic market is going to be the top one. Most people are using their heat press and heat transfers for names and numbers on jerseys, but we're starting to see it even more in clubs and schools and local businesses, and being able to really branch out to some of those markets, offering lower quantities with heat transfers.
Yeah, so religious group is interesting. It's 25%. People cite that as a market segment. So it's one that we haven't talked a lot about here on Stahls TV, but the fact that you can go out to churches, right now is a great time of year to go call on vacation Bible schools and try to sell screen printed transfers or customized apparel that are large orders. So look up those customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And Transfer Express has a lot of really great templates specifically for Vacation Bible School and some of those religious groups. So if you don't have artwork or you're looking for somewhere to go to be able to send them a quick virtual proof of what you can create, that's an easy way to do it using the Easy View Designer at transferexpress.com.
Okay, let's go down to the next section, and I really love this section because it really cites how folks are doing in heat printing. And if you look at this, the first sort of light color that you see there, the light orange color, is basically their business in the last 12 months. And then the darker orange or reddish color is looking forward to the next 12 months. So 46% of people reported that their heat transfer business has increased in the past 12 months. That's a pretty big number.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really lending to what you can do with heat printing as far as printing different types of fabrics, performance wear, printing different finishes with like glitters and foils, and even just the way the industry is moving towards more customized, more lower quantities and one-offs is really where I think heat printing is starting to thrive more for decorators.
And if you look at it, 8% cited a decline, so that's not a very big number. I mean, most people at least stayed the same. A lot of them showed an increase over the past 12 months. That means the outlook is not only good for heat printing, but just for decoration, personalized goods, customization in general. And now most people maintain the same positive outlook for the next 12 months, saying that 66% say it's going to increase, with only 3% expecting a decline. And what type of heat transfers are people creating or applying in-house? That's what we're looking at here. 63% said that for in-house decoration, it's print and cut graphics.
Yeah, print and cut or vinyl cut graphics are still going to be the most popular for people to create in-house because they're inexpensive, and just like the second graph shows, that they're profitable. So people are wanting to cut costs and obviously make more money by being able to bring a lot of those in-house.
Yeah, and I like that screen printed transfers are another thing that is most profitable when you look at that list. So ultimately, heat printing is a good business to be in. I'd recommend you read the full edition of the Hot Graphics Report. It has a ton of helpful articles. We write a column for Printwear Magazine monthly, but Hot Graphics is a great way if you're really into heat printing to dive deep, read this report, see what other kind of takeaways that you can get from it for your business.
Right.
The next thing that we want to cover, it sort of goes along with the education that we did at the show in Indianapolis. And the education in Indianapolis, we did a lot of things. Number one is we talked a little bit about the speed of weeding from a tool standpoint, but we also educated on advantages that can be picked up in weeding specific to artwork. And so there's a quick video that we recently launched on Stahls TV from Great Dane Graphics. We want to share that with you now, that talks about artwork efficiency for weeding.
Not all artwork is created equal. When choosing artwork for vinyl cutting, you can realize fast production benefits by using artwork that is production ready and designed specifically for vinyl cutting. Art files from Great Dane Graphics give your business the ability to offer production-friendly, high-end custom graphics in minutes. Using vinyl cutting artwork from Great Dane Graphics will reduce your weeding time and make it easier. Compared to other vector art images that have multiple cavities and pick areas, artwork from Great Dane Graphics is designed to have less pull areas for faster weeding without compromising the detail and the design appearance. A detailed 10-inch version works perfect for large full front designs on t-shirts. Or you can use the 3-inch basic version to produce smaller graphics efficiently for prints on hats, sleeves, or left chest locations. Using artwork that is easy to weed and produce, you'll be able to free up your time for more selling and producing items faster. With an expansive library of art files for every market, this ready-to-cut artwork gives you the ability to create eye-catching designs for your customers at a fraction of the cost and time it takes. No modifications or prepping are required. Quickly create high-end graphics from scratch using the design software of your choice, or customize designs on the fly with the Great Dane Graphics Customizer. Thousands of images are available today, and new images are adding weekly, ensuring that you have fresh, new artwork to offer your customers original designs. In addition to the cost savings you'll receive when weeding and producing graphics, Great Dane Graphic art files allow you to build your artwork library for less than 15 cents per file with any subscription plan. So update your artwork today and start cutting costs. To get started, visit GreatDaneGraphics.com.
So not only did we talk about sort of efficiency in the art process and in weeding time, but we talked, which will allow you to make more money. That was sort of the whole theme, is how can I make more money per shirt? But we also spent a fair amount of time in that class on trends. And not only trends from a decoration technique, but trends from a blank apparel standpoint. And sort of to share some of that info with you, we've curated some of the finest blanks from throughout the industry we're going to show.
Yeah, so in the class and even at the show, we walked around and we felt a lot of the garments that now are that soft garment, that tri-blend that we've talked a lot about here on the morning show, but we're starting to see it go from just the standard soft textured garment to being heathered to even more textures in with garments. And so the idea of some of these textured garments is that they're not just basic heathered garments, but they're basically just interweaving different colors of yarn together to get to be a unique print or effect, which is where the heathering comes in. One to me that's most popular outside of just heathering that we've showed here on the morning show is kind of the static print from Cavio. So when we think textures, we often think about them being a different feel, but it's more in texture and the look. And all of these garments really just allow you to elevate the artwork and the design, the print that you're putting on here by adding some different texture to it.
Yeah, visual texture is great because from a decoration standpoint, there's really not that much caution or extra things we have to do. When you start to get into actual texture in the piece, we have to worry, is that going to mark? Is that going to flatten out? How's that going to look after I heat press it? But when it's just the visual aesthetic, we don't have to really worry too much on the decoration technique and how it's going to impact. So this Cavio piece we've shown before, that one's been phenomenal, but we recently got some new stuff in from Bella Canvas as well. I know we've been working closer with them.
Yeah, and they really transcend the textured market into even some more really unique blends. So this is one of their marble washes, and the way they change textured garments is the wash of the fabric. And so you're starting to see how you're getting a marbling effect in throughout the colors of this shirt, and so it just creates some really cool effects. Obviously, the lightweight nature of this t-shirt is also something that we're seeing becoming incredibly popular.
Yeah, so let's hang those on the front here. If you want to get a closer angle so everybody can see the sort of effect, we'll just hang the results here. But this one's almost sheer as well, which obviously speaks to it's very lightweight, very thin. So you'll definitely want to pick a lighter decoration on these particular styles of fabrics.
Yeah, we're seeing more of that burnout type nature of materials really coming back into play this spring and summer.
Okay, what's our next piece here?
So the next one we're going to look at is actually the acid wash. So the acid wash on this garment really makes it incredibly soft. I mean, if you haven't got to see this Bella Canvas garment yet, I'd recommend ordering it in and getting a feel for it. It's super soft. It has a really cool, unique effect. So if you're selling to any juniors or young men's market, this is really what we're seeing trending in retail, and it's allowing you to do it in the wholesale market as well.
Yeah, and this is style 3650 from Bella Canvas, the one you see hanging there with the acid wash. And then this one's called the Women's Slouchy V-neck tee. It's style 8815. if you're keeping track of that. Both of those are really cool garments. What sort of wash or finish do we have on this one, Courtney?
So this one we're looking at is actually their mineral wash. So you're noticing how it creates kind of a almost a grade tonal effect to the garment. And so we've shown you a lot in decoration where tonal effects are really popular. So I see a lot of opportunity to put maybe a black design here on this, or a glossy print with Super Tech Clear Gloss, and even some of the glaze colors, and just getting a shifting tonal effect on this washed out shirt.
Correct, and this is style 6400 for those of you that are logging this, one to order these pieces in. This one's awesome. It's really soft. It has, as you mentioned, that sort of grunge effect, so you can get creative. I think foil would be another thing that would look awesome on this.
Yeah, I see it being really popular for sure for the fall season as we're looking at some school designs and retail designs there.
All right. And this one looks like it's from outer space to me.
So this one is actually a speckled t-shirt, and so it kind of takes texture to another level by actually putting in the speckled appearance into the garment thread and the fabric. And so it's got multiple colors, and throughout the navy blue shirt here, there's other colors available. But I can see this being played off with maybe a matching neon type color in the garment, or even just a foil on this one as well, which is another popular trend we see right now in apparel.
All right, and that's style 3650 for that particular blank. So a lot of cool stuff, and what all these have in common is we have the sort of visual texture and appeal to it. We also have, in most cases, a nice ring spun cotton or some sort of blend or treatment that's designed to make it feel just softer in general. So there's been the constant progression. It hasn't stopped towards lighter weight, softer, almost to the point where the garment almost feels like, you know, it's so thin, I guess some people may perceive that it's a lesser quality, but no, it's not a lesser quality. It's just everybody wants to have that lightweight sort of second skin feel to their apparel.
Right, and it's the blend in the garment that really kind of gives them that, so mixing together multiple different fabric types to get something that's super soft. And surprisingly, these garments, because they're so popular right now in retail, are the ones that are going to command that higher selling price. So you can actually sell them for a little bit more money or make your design a little bit more unique as using these textured garments.
Okay, and I know these are from Bella Canvas. We also have some stuff coming up soon to show you that new alternative apparel line that we've been talking about that's available now through Sanmar. I know we're sort of bringing all those pieces together, waiting for the last couple to come in so we can give you a full presentation on that. Can we expect that in an upcoming morning show?
Yeah, coming up right after our 50th episode that's coming up soon as well.
Oh, we're excited about that. All right, and I know there were some questions coming in, Joe, so if you want to share any of those with us now before we conclude.
Yeah, the primary question is where can they download the information of the charts that you were showing earlier?
Okay, if you visit printwearmag.com, you can click on their latest digital edition, and ultimately it's a full flip book of the hot graphics where you can read all the articles and everything, and you can download particular sections of that publication as a PDF. So it's printwearmag.com. All right, any other questions coming in? All right, that's all the questions for today. We want to thank you for attending the Stahls TV Morning Show as always, and we look forward to presenting to you again next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching.